Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make an Opticians in Minecraft for all of your city building needs. In this tutorial, not only will I show you how to make the entire outside of the build, but I will also show you how to make the entire inside as well. Fun fact, I'm hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. Let me know down in the comments if, where and when you found me. The first person to leave a comment getting it right will have that comment pinned. This is the amount of space required to make the build, a 15 block wide by 16 block long area as represented by this very handy grid on the screen. To find the starting position, simply begin at the front left hand corner of the grid. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin the build by placing 5 black concrete on top of each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then extend that row backwards, and then extend both of these rows to the right. Then place a polished black stone wall here, with 2 black stained glass pane extending right. Another wall, a glass pane, leave a gap, glass pane, wall, 2 glass pane, 1 wall, and then 2 black concrete. We can raise these black concretes up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can simply extend them forwards, like this. We are then going to place an additional 2 wall on top of our wall blocks, and an additional 2 glass pane on top of our glass pane blocks. Then we will place an iron bar either here or here. Then we will place a row of black concrete across the top of this, with green concrete in front. Then a row of 3 green concrete on top of this. 1, 2, 3. Like so. Then I'm going to remove the grid / grass in front of and underneath these 2 rows. I'm going to place black concrete underneath the window sections, not including the front door, and then I'm going to place smooth stone everywhere else, so just like this, nice and clean. Next, I am going to place a painting in this window. I'm looking for actually that exact same one. Then I will place 2 black concrete here, surround the black concrete with dark oak trapdoors, and then place a painting here as well. I'm looking for Pinocchio. There we go. Perfect. Next, we are going to make a set of banners so that we can spell out the word Opticians. So, throw down a loom, open it up, place a green banner in there with white dye. The first letter we must make is O. This is the Pale Dexter pattern, Pale Sinister, Chief, and then Base. Next is P. This is the Pale Sinister pattern, put green dye in, Perf S inverted pattern, white dye back in, and then add Fess, Pale Dexter, and then Chief. That is P. Next is T. This is the Chief and then Pale pattern. Next is I. This is simply the Pale pattern. I'm going to shuffle things around. That's a bit better. So now we have to make the C banner. So this is Chief, Base, and then Pale Dexter. Next would be I again, but we already have it, so instead A, which is the Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, Chief, and then Fess. Next is N, so Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, and Bend. And then lastly is S, this is Chief, Base, and Bend. And from here, we can place O, P, T, I, C, I, A, N, S, right in the middle of our sign. First, we are going to extend our black concrete wall backwards by 14 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we are going to extend the entire wall, so this means 5 rows of black concrete. Although, I should point out, it is only the outer part of the wall, not the inner row. We then want to extend the bottom of this row inwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across the back of the build. We can then extend up and across. Add a row of black concrete underneath. Fill this bit of wall in using smooth quartz block. Then we can extend our wall in one row. And then the bottom of the row to the right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We will extend up and left, just like this. We will then add a row of black concrete here on the left and the right. And we will shrink this down a little bit. We'll place a black concrete right here at the top. Glass pane in the empty space. Black concrete extending forwards in front of this vertical row, like so. And we add another row here across the top. We then want to extend the bottom of this row to the right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And up and left. And we can add a row underneath. And then smooth quartz block in the empty space, which will give us this, which hilariously to me kind of looks like a pair of glasses if you look at it long enough. Then, to fill this wall in, we simply just have to fill this entire empty space in using black concrete, just as we did with the opposite wall. Next, we are going to remove all of the grass from inside the build. And replace it with quartz bricks. Next, we can fill in the roof by adding a single row of black concrete here behind the sign, and then filling the rest of it in using block of iron. With the entire outside of the build complete, we can now head inside and work on the interior. Step 1. Let's make some walls. To begin, we will start in the front left hand corner of the build and place a row of 8 black concrete extending along the bottom of the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We will then extend towards the middle by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this way by 2. 1, 2, spruce door, and then a black concrete. We will then place 2 rows of smooth quartz on top of the black concrete, and then black concrete on top of the smooth quartz to give us this. And we actually want the exact same thing on the opposite side. So starting in this corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Extend to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then ever so slightly different actually, we will immediately have a door and then just black concrete. And then we can place 2 rows of smooth quartz on top of this, with black concrete on top of the smooth quartz, to give us this. We have quite a few pale oak shelves to place. We're going to start over here. We place a 2x2 square like this, leave a gap, place another 2x2 square. On this wall, 2x2 square, and then we actually copy this over to here. So square, square, square. Just like so. They're just nicely placed evenly. Next, we want to add a standing shelf. To do this, we will leave a gap of 2 from this wall. So 1, 2, and then we will place 1, 2, 3 bookshelves, and then add a row on top, and then a row behind, just like this. Perfect. So moving over to here, we want to place a spruce stair here on this wall with spruce trapdoors either side. And we want the same here as well, so spruce stairs with spruce trapdoors either side. Above each chair, we want a 1x1 painting. It doesn't really matter which it is, as long as you like it, and I happen to like both of those, actually, which is a nice change. We want to add spruce signs above the doors, so I'm going to have a bunch of dashers, exam, room 1, and then just a bunch of dashers. And I'm going to have the exact same thing here as well, so exam, room 2. There we go. And there's not really a middle to the ceiling exactly. It's kind of here, in between, like, this area of the door. We have a lantern, and then we will place spruce signs around it. We also want to add a shelf back here, so that will go right here in this position, flower part, fern. In this corner, decorated part, flower part, fern, and that looks pretty nice. Next, we are going to place a counter. This lines up with the edge of this bookshelf. We leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and then we place 1, 2, 3 black concrete. Exactly there. Smooth quartz stair here, heavy weighted pressure plate here, item frame here. We also have to make a banner, throw down loom, open it up, light blue banner in there with white dye, apply a gradient pattern, a bend pattern, put black dye in there and apply a bordure pattern. Stick it in this corner here, in this corner here, or alternatively you can also place it here and here if you like as well, kind of all over the place if you like, but it might be too much, it's up to you. Another optional extra is to add some carpet to the build. So initially I just had a 3x3 square here as we walk in, and I think that this is nice and tasteful, but I did also decide to add some here as well, which I don't think is bad, and some behind the counter as well, and I think that that might be just the right amount for this sort of lobby area. The reason that I chose green, by the way, is probably a little bit obvious, kind of like try and tie things together. But this is what the customer area looks like, or at least the lobby where we would buy and try on the glasses. But we do have exam rooms as well. So heading into exam room 1, the first thing we want to do in here is add a polished blackstone stair here, black banners either side of the stair. We also want to add an iron bar. Here you can see that this is just one row in front. We want to have an observer placed like this in front of the chair. Then we are going to stick a grey concrete here in the corner, detector rail, and then a 1x1 painting above this. On the wall opposite the chair, we want a couple of pale oak shelves just like this. And we can also add a seat here as well, so to do that we can just use an end rod and a polished blackstone pressure plate. And we can either leave it like this, or we could add some banners to the wall, or rather some... I can't see, I'm placing black on black, I actually just realised I can't see a thing that I'm placing here. But we could add a couple of paintings, there's actually room for a couple of 1x2s, just to spruce up the room a little bit. I think it looks ever so slightly nicer. We could also stick a potted plant somewhere, but I think that this is kind of like a suitable amount of clutter in here, especially for an exam room. You could stick another pressure plate here on the ground as well if you like. Now, before we add our final customization to this room, we are just going to head across the hallway and basically copy exactly what we've made. So we will place a polished black stone stair here, then black banners either side, grey concrete in the corner, end rod here, pressure plate here and here, rail here, and then 1x1 painting here. Then we want an iron bar here with an observer faced this way like this. I'm just going to add the paintings because I do think that they enhance the build a little bit. Probably not. Okay, I'll have the horse. Why not? Nah, I don't really want the horse, to be honest. I don't know why it is. I just don't really like that painting in particular. I don't know why. These two really are my favourite. And then we are just going to place some shelves here opposite the stair. And that's how we'll keep it, mostly. Last bit of detail for this room, we have to make an eye chart. We have half of it made already with these two bookshelves, but we have to populate these with some banners. So we're going to throw down a limb, open it up, and we are just going to make some letters. Now, if you have some favourite letters, feel free to add those, but I'm just going to make like A, B, C, D, E, F. So, first letter is A. This is Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, Chief, and Fess. I'm sure that you could probably come up with some funny combinations of letters, by the way, so do feel free to do that. So, next is B, Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, Chief, Fess, Base. Next is C. This is Pale Dexter, Chief, and then Base. Next is D. This is Pale Sinister, white dye in there, lozenge, black dye, Pale Dexter, Chief, and Base. Next is E. This is Pale Dexter, Chief, Fess, and then Base. And then lastly, F. This is Pale Dexter, Chief, and then Fess. And now we can individually add these to our bookshelves, and there we have an eye chart. So there we go, and we can add them here as well. Do feel free to jumble them up. I guess I'm being a little bit unoriginal by just going with the alphabet, but it really doesn't matter. You can do whatever you cat, dog, whatever. And now that we have done that, we can head out into this area, and we have just a couple of things to do. First of all, we can add some spotlights to the ceiling by placing a glow item frame here, here, and here, and the same on the opposite side, here, here, and here. There we go. That's perfect. And then we have to fill all of these bookshelves in using... Now, lastly, we have to fill all of these bookshelves in using an item that looks like glasses. My first thought was to make a custom banner that simply looks like glasses, and I have made a few, which I will share with you later. However, my recommendation is to simply use fence gates, as I have discovered they look, to me, very much like glasses. So instead of going crazy and complicated making banners in all different colours and styles, honestly, am I crazy? Do these just look like glasses? I think they do. And we've not even got a bad selection of them. So I've picked out my favourite 9. The reason that I've chose 9 is for this rather long shelf display here, so that we can have a different colour in every single slot vertically. But for these, where we need fewer glasses, I'm just going to use this set here. So my favourites are Dark Oak, Jungle, or Acacia I should say, Mangrove, Cherry, Warped, and Bamboo. And I think that these look really nice, but you could of course swap between a bunch of different ones. Like you could literally use every single fence gate in whatever proportion you like. As long as you're happy with how it all looks, then that's all that matters really. So just to take a look at half of the room, see, I think that that's enough variance with colour. I think that that looks really good. And despite the fact that we are repeating a pattern, because it is so colourful, I don't think that it matters too much. The only downside is when that happens. Perfect, and now if we take a look around, I mean this looks fantastic to me, I don't know about you. Whilst I think this is perfect, maybe you would prefer the banner approach. So throw down a limb, open it up, let me show you how to make the first banner. So no matter what, we use white banners because we're placing them onto white shelves. It just looks better this way. But you can use any colour of dye. You don't have to use black. You can swap this out for any other colour. Okay, glasses banner 1. White banner, black dye. We are going to apply the border pattern. And then the fess pattern. That is banner 1. Banner 2 is very similar. Border pattern, fess, and then pale sinister. You can swap that onto the opposite side as well, so you could simply use pale dexter as opposed to pale sinister. But next, banner number 3, we want to place the border pattern, the fess pattern, the pale pattern, put white dye in there, and apply the pale pattern. Or pale dexter pattern, I should say. There we go. That's another set of glasses. There is actually a sunglasses banner as well, but this is made using a black banner with white dye. We apply the chief pattern, base pattern, and then we apply the... There we go, the chevron pattern. And there you have some sunglasses. And there we have it. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, this is about as far as I got with my banner design until I kind of had the epiphany to use fence gates. So with any one of these banners, we can place them exactly how we have the fence gates. We can just place them into the shelves in any proportion that we like. And I think that that also looks good as well, by the way. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. And the way that we would use these banners a little bit differently than the fence gates is that we would have to make these in different colours. But you might very well like these. And all of these, honestly, to me, look like glasses. So, whichever way you want to go, have at it. And with that final detail added, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add our opticians into our city. I don't necessarily think of this as a modern build exactly, but I want to put it in the new modern suburbs. Specifically next to our pharmacy. For some reason, these two builds, in my mind, just go hand in hand. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Looks pretty good in my opinion. You may be interested in becoming a channel member. You can click the join button that will be somewhere on the screen right now. This does cost money and is a monthly subscription, but you do get some perks. The first of which is a download link for my city design world. This has every single build that I have placed in my city, arranged in order, and labelled. This perk also comes with schematics for the mods Lightmatica and World Edit, so you can easily reference and copy and paste these builds into your worlds in any way that you'd like. However, if you're not interested in any of that building business, the highest tier allows you to download the most current version of Mini City. There are also some minor perks, including loyalty badges displayed next to your name whenever you comment something down below on my videos. Depending on how long you have been a channel member, you gain a more prestigious helmet, with the highly coveted gold builder's hat being the most valuable. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.